it's Matt, and today I'm going to be playing Blueprints, which is a very unique and challenging puzzle game of sorts. It's a bit of a puzzle game, a bit of an adventure game, a bit of a roguelike game, but either way, I recently finished it and I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought the atmosphere and vibe of the game would make for a good ASMR video. So here we are in my ASMR video of Blueprints. I'm going to be starting a new game and playing without using any of my pre-existing knowledge, so I don't spoil the game for anyone. Going to be playing it like a new player. And so, if you're not familiar with Blueprints, well, it's easier to show you than it is to explain what this game is. So let's get started.
Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly estate at Reddington do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Here we begin on day 1. Here is the mansion with 45 rooms, supposedly, but we're looking for room 46. So let's see what we can find. Got this nice foyer here. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure assure you nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, "Don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path, and go where you want it to lead." With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. So, it seems that this place may be a bit of a maze, but let's see what we have here. Looks like a blueprint. It is the Mount Holly blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. And so here is the blueprint. The blueprint has a grid on the left side, a 9x5 grid showing the layout of the house. We are, of course, in the entrance hall. And at the far opposite end is the antechamber, but all the other spaces are blank, and you're about to find out why. So, let's see. As you can see in the upper left corner, there are 50 steps remaining. That is not a literal number of steps, but a number of times I can enter a room. Every time you enter a room, that number goes down, and yeah, you'll see. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one step. When you no longer have any steps left, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. And when you call it a day, the mansion resets. All the rooms you have discovered disappear, and you must start anew. So, seems we have to find room 46 within one day, but you have as many tries as you need, across as many days as you'd like. Anyway, let's approach this door here on the left, and now it says select a room to draft. So this is where the game gets interesting. Every time you open a door, you are given a choice of 3 randomized rooms, and the room you choose goes in that spot on the map. And what you want to do is explore rooms you haven't seen before, and or connect rooms to each other in a way that you can maneuver through the mansion towards the objectives you're looking for, which will become more clear as you play more of the game. But in this early stage, you're mostly just experimenting with what's in the rooms and how they interact with each other. So we have the bedroom, which whenever you enter this room, you get 2 steps. There's a closet with 2 items and a hallway. Looks like the hallway has multiple exits, whereas the bedroom has one other exit and the closet is a dead end. So let's start out with a hallway. This will give us a couple of doors to work with. Here in the hallway, it's pretty plain, just a fancy mansion hallway. Got some drawings on the wall, not sure if they mean anything. And over here, we have a note card. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. So let's keep that in mind. If a door is locked, it seems like we would need a key or something, but we have no keys yet. Let's hope this one is not locked. And it is not, but now I have to choose between a nook which gives me 1 key. A parlor, which has some sort of puzzle piece, I'm not sure what that means. And a bedroom, which we already saw. So, a key could be useful since we're on the left or the west side of the mansion. Let's try the key. Here is the nook. Looks like it's a little reading nook with little shelves of books on the wall. Can't really pick up any of these books, but there is a key here. So now we have 1 key. Very nice. Alright. Seeing if there's anything worth inspecting in here. Just some more artwork. This device here. Got yeah, nothing special here. And so looking at the blueprint, we can go up from either the nook or the hallway, but I don't want to use any extra steps to go back to the hallway just yet, so let's try going up from the nook. Or north, I should say. So we have a den, which gives us 1 gem, a closet with 2 random items, and a west wing hall. How about we go for the closet and see what items we get? So we have some clothes, an umbrella, can't take that. There is a shovel, which we can take. Looks like it could be useful for digging. And yep, that's a gem. So gem is another currency like the key. We'll see where we can use that later on. So let's move back over here and try this door. So we can do a guest bedroom, which gives us 10 extra steps. We can do a parlor, which goes left, but that would run into the closet and leave us at a dead end. Or we can do the bedroom, which gives us 2 steps. I think I want to get some extra steps, so let's try the guest bedroom and see if there's anything of interest in here. Got a couple of beds. Right, and this looks like another gem. A basketball, which we cannot pick up. Some books. And something on the desk here. Sinclair, just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanson, whose peculiar personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles and appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly. K.L. So, something about a puzzle in a billiard room, which we've not discovered yet, but maybe we'll run into that today. Alright, so let's take a left back through the entrance hall and try the east side of this first row of rooms. So we have a storeroom, a dead end with a key, a gem, and some money. We have a den, which has a couple of exits and 1 gem. And a lavatory, which is a dead end. Well, the lavatory is not very exciting, so let's go with the den. It has a couple of exits, so we'll see what they have. There's a gem there. I got a fireplace, a grandfather clock. Very, very big clock here. Doesn't seem like we can interact with that. Alright, so what is through this door? We can do a bedroom, a kitchen which has food for sale and requires 1 gem to enter, and a walk-in closet which has 4 items and requires 1 gem to enter. Well, since we don't have any money, I can't buy any food, but I do want to see what these 4 items are in the walk-in closet. So this is indeed a rather large walk-in closet. Got some clothes, another piece of art, got some money, and a couple of gems. Have this photo of a woman. I'm not sure if there's any significance there. Some more clothes, and we have a lockpick kit. We'll occasionally be able to unlock some normal doors. Alright, well, we'll have to try that if we run out of keys. Now, what do we have through this door? We can go into the chapel. Whenever you enter the chapel, you lose 1 coin. There's the corridor, which is always left unlocked. I guess that means the door at the other end is guaranteed to not require a key. Or we can do the parlor. And I'm curious what this puzzle is in the parlor, so let's give it a try. Alright, so here in the parlor, we have some boxes. What do these boxes say? There are 3 boxes in this room. 2 boxes in this room are empty. This box is one of the 2 empty boxes. Can I interact with these? Doesn't look like it. I wonder what we're doing with those. Got a portrait of Herbert Sinclair. And on the table here, it says, May the 2nd. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back, involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests, should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. Alright, so this says, there will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only false statements. Only 1 box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. So I guess that's what those boxes were about. And we have here a rather curious wind-up key, a component of the parlor game. So let's go back over to these boxes and figure out which one is true, and which one is false, and which one has the gems. So this says there are 3 boxes in this room. That is definitely true, so that is one of the potential true ones. 2 boxes in this room are empty. That is also true. So if these 2 are true, this one has to be false, because at least one has to be false. This box is one of the 2 empty boxes. Well, since we know this has to be false, it means it has the gems. So let's unlock it and get the gems. Alright, so now we have 6 gems. And let's see if we can make our way out of the parlor into a right-facing room, so we can keep going north. So we have the corridor, the bedroom, and now the passageway. It does require 2 gems, but we do have those, so let's try the passageway. It is as described, just a passageway. 4 doors. This one is blocked off because the guest bedroom is in the way. And so let's go north. We have a lavatory, a weight room, which will make me lose half my steps, and a dark room. In the dark room, you cannot see floor plans while drafting. The weight room does have an additional exit, but losing half my steps this early on might be catastrophic. So let's try the dark room and hope I don't get dead ends from those 2 mystery doors. And just a quick warning for anyone with photosensitivity, there is a brief moment of flickering lights when we enter the dark room here. Alright, so the dark room is indeed rather dark. Can't really take a look at anything on these tables. But let's try this door here. And as you can see, we indeed cannot see any of the possible rooms we're drafting. So since we don't know what they are, let's just choose the first one and see what we get. It is the storeroom, which, if you recall, has 1 coin, 1 key, and 1 gem, and a bunch of random storage. We got a drawing of a key there, some chairs, and some sort of paper here. It's got a bird in a swimsuit. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but that's a thing. Maybe to keep in mind. Now let's try the other door and hope it's not a dead end like the storeroom. Let's try this one without a gem. I don't want to spend a gem on something I'm not sure of. We have here the bedroom. And unfortunately, this bedroom is indeed a dead end. And we have no more doors to try. We have drafted ourselves into just a bunch of dead ends. So this is the end of our exploration for this current day, it seems. But while we're in here, let's take a look. We got a Greetings from Reddington postcard. Got this finger thing, sculpture. Got a chest or a trunk. The trunk is locked, so let's use one of our keys. And what do we have in the trunk? We got 3 gems. Alright. Can't use the bed or anything. There's a portrait of a woman. And yeah. Well, I guess now that we're done here, we could call it a day and reset the mansion for day 2. But let's see if there's anything else to look at first. You can run, of course. Not an especially fast run, but let's run around a bit. See what we have outside. We got Mount Holly out there. We got this fountain, I guess. You can throw a coin in to make a wish. Not sure if that does anything, but maybe it's good luck. Anything over the edge here with this view? Something down there. Let's see if we can see what's down there. Some stairs. Got this boarded up thing here. Got whatever this is. Some sort of platform. This wall's broken. As you can see down there, we got some, looks like some pathways carved into the rock next to this waterfall. No idea how to get down there. Not sure what that is. Some pipes going into here. I don't know. Got a bird bath. Some nice trees. A very, very dark tunnel filled with boxes here. What is in here? It's getting darker and darker, but seems it's just piled up with boxes that we can't move. So this is a dead end. And let's see if there's anything else we can find around the grounds before we call it a day. Back up the stairs. Got this open gate here. Got this metal door, it looks like, sealed off. Alright. Looks like a kind of foresty area. Does this gate open up? Doesn't look like it. And we have a campfire over here next to a tent. Looks nice and cozy for camping. Can we go inside the tent? The campsite. Due to the rules set forth in your great-uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time from the blueprint menu to return to the campsite for the night. So this is where we sleep when we are not in the house or around the grounds. Got anything else around here? We got a white fence up here. We got a padlock. No idea what numbers we're supposed to use here. Looks like a bunch of apple trees and some sort of shed back there. I wonder what's in there. Unfortunately, there is no jumping in this game, so despite it looking like it's easy to jump over the fence, especially with the stump, we cannot. That's video games for you. Anything else? Let's see. This looks like a very high security door into the side of the hill here. Can't go in there. And see if there's anything we can find on the west side of the grounds. Very calm, pretty estate we've got here. Must be a nice place to live, but we're not allowed to live here until we find room 46. But we have as many days as we need. Alright. Seems this gate is locked. I would imagine the padlock or whatever it is on the other side, but I can't just reach around. But yeah, I guess that does it for day 1 here. And so let's call it a day and see what we get on day 2. Alright, day 1. Mount Holly was a small cottage. We got 13 total rooms. We reached rank 3, took 25 steps, and found 2 items. Nowhere near the antechamber, that's for sure. Though, it seems that room 46 is not the antechamber itself, because that would be one of the 45 rooms. But it's up there, calling to us, so let's see if we can get there on day 2. Let's save and continue, and keep going. Here we go for day 2. So, on day 2, everything looks pretty much the same as before. Got the same letter, the same note, etc. Let's start with the west side again. So we can choose the hallway, the lavatory, or the closet. Let's go with the hallway. And let's keep going west. Same note as before. And so we got a parlor, a nook, and a bedroom. Let's go with the parlor. So, as you might expect, the parlor game is not always as easy as that first example. In fact, the parlor game gets harder on every single attempt. Every time you find it, it is harder than the last time, supposedly. But let's try this one. The black box contains gems. We don't know if that's true or false yet, so let's keep moving. This box and the blue box are empty. Not sure about that either. All 3 boxes are empty. Well, we know this is false, so this one is the definitely false one. Now, how about these 2? This box and the blue box are empty. That could be true. If that is true, then the gems are in the black box. But we're not sure. So blue, the black box contains gems. This box and the blue box are empty. Well, if this one's definitely false, it stands to reason that one of these is definitely true. And if this is definitely true, then they're in the black box. And if this is definitely true, then they're in the black box. So let's try the black box. I will tell you that in the later stages of the game, these get incredibly tricky. To the point that I googled some of them after the fact when I realized I was wrong and found Reddit threads of people arguing over whether the logic made sense. But that's a story for another time. So if we go north here, we can choose a closet, a pantry, or a spare room. Let's try the pantry since we've not seen that yet. In the pantry, we've got a ladder. Can't climb that. We've got this note here. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. Got some money here, and an apple. The apple gives me 2 additional steps. So, moving on, we can go with the den, which would connect well to the hallway and go north. There's the utility closet, which has a breaker box, and a bedroom. Let's go with the den. We'll get that gem and keep moving north. So, as usual, the room is the same. And so if we go north, we can choose corridor, which goes straight north, utility closet with the breaker box, or security. View inventory of all items currently in the house. Requires 1 gem. That seems potentially useful, so let's try security. Fancy. We got this cutscene here. Gotta make a dramatic entrance into the security room. Seems rather ominous with the music. Seems some rather ominous stuff may be going on in the security room. At least that's the vibe. Not sure if we should be worried. Got lots of security cameras showing rooms that I mostly don't recognize. Wonder what's in all these rooms and where they are if I can find them. But there I am. The security room has its own security camera. Alright, so, got some videotapes here, got this notepad, says blue memos true, red memos lies. So it looks like there's something under red memos lies, it's like some text that's cut off, very, very small. I think it could say unless written by hand. But maybe, I'm not sure. Hard to say for sure. Got all these monitors here. Don't know what any of these rooms are. And this computer. Welcome to Mount Holly Security. we can view the estate inventory. The following is a detailed list of items currently in the house that have yet to be collected. This list will be updated as new rooms are added. Looks like nothing at the moment. There's the keycard system. Security doors are doors within the estate that can only be unlocked with an electronic keycard. The keycard system is currently operational. We can look at the keycard system settings. We can set the security level, which determines the amount of keycard security doors that will be deployed in your estate. You should expect to see 1 or 2 security doors with a low setting, and 5 or 6 with a high setting. Well, seems like we want low security, right? So let's change it to low. And if we can change offline mode, will that be helpful? This mode determines the default setting the security doors will be set to if power is lost during a blackout, for example. As a general safety rule, offline mode should be set to unlocked if any staff are working on the estate. Well, I don't know if the power is going to go out, and I don't know how to do it, so we should probably leave them locked. Well, no, because unlock, yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, if somehow the power goes out, we should leave them unlocked, because then I can get through them. Not sure if and when that might happen, though. We can also log into the network, but it is asking for a password. No idea what the password is, so we'll have to come back to that. Alright, so from security we can go left or right. Let's go left. Actually, first let's check out this bulletin board. Staff notice, effective the first week of December, payroll for all live-out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch-out clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. And it has the terminal password there, but it is scribbled out. Can't really read it, though it does seem to start with an S. Maybe if we find a way to make that more legible, we can come back. This says, until further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked, and access levers are no longer required to grant entry. So if we think back to that note on the desk back there, that looked like it might say red memos are lies, we shouldn't believe this, but it also said unless written by hand, I think. So if this was written by hand, it might be true, but because it is not, we can assume it's a lie. So the antechamber is not unlocked, and we might need access levers to grant entry. This is not red, so it's probably true. I think it's kind of blue. Keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in the higher ranks of the estate. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. So the further north we get, the more locked doors we'll find and the more security doors we'll find. But hopefully not too many security doors, because we lowered the security level. Anyway, if we go west here, we can launder currency in the laundry room, or we can do the west wing hall or the dark room. I'm curious what it means to launder currency in this game, so I'm going to spend a gem, and we'll take a look at the laundry room. It is indeed a laundry room. Nothing special. And here is... oh, we can interact with this one. Laundry services. We can do the spin cycle. Costs 5 coins and will exchange all your gems with all your coins. Wash and dry will exchange all your keys with all your gems. And fluff and fold will exchange all your keys with all your coins. Well, I don't have enough currency for any of these, so we can keep it in mind for later if we need more of something. Oh, here's some more currency now. But I don't really want to swap anything because money might be useful, and I only have one gem, so... Anyway, let's go east. Looking east, we can try the guest bedroom, the closet, or the dark room. Let's try the dark room and hope we get luckier this time. We have a bit more choice if the dark room goes poorly this time because we haven't used the entrance hall's doors. Anyway, let's see what we get this way. We have a storeroom, 1 coin, 1 key, and 1 gem, as always, and of course, the bird. And if we go north, what do we get? We got the spare room, an unfinished, kind of straight hallway of a room. Not really anything we can do in here, it seems. If we keep going north, we can do a lavatory, a nook, or a courtyard. Courtyard looks nice and has a couple of exits, and it does require 1 gem, but let's see what it is. Alright, we have indeed a courtyard, and this looks like it could be a security door. There's no handle on it. It has this pad over here. This security door is locked by electronic key card. Well, I don't have any key cards, so I can't do that. We have over here a trunk. Let's unlock the trunk. We got 3 keys, none of which are key cards, unfortunately. Got a pile of dirt. There's another pile of dirt over there. Maybe if we had that shovel from last time, then we could dig something up, but nope. Well, since we can only go east, let's try going east and see what we get. This door is locked, so let's use a key. And so, do we want a utility closet, a chapel, or a commissary, which has items for sale? Well, I don't want to lose money without getting anything, so why not spend 1 gem on the commissary and see what's at the shop. Alright, we got an arcade machine. Looks like it says Dirigiblocks. It's not working. We've got bulletin board. Staff notice, effective for the 1st week of December. Actually, this is the same notice that was in the security room, so we don't have to read that again. Got a couple of drawings. It says with and without. Got a chart of some sort, like stocks. Got a mine cart. And a red note that is not handwritten, so probably false, but it says, the commissary will be closed from day 12 to day 16. Sorry for any inconvenience. Well, since that's not true, no need to apologize. Says up here, annual Maid's Day sale, 2 days only. All items up to 50% off. All staff welcome on day 20 and 21. Mount Holly Commissary. Something to keep in mind when we get to day 20 or 21. And in the shop, we have a bunch of stuff here. We got a gem, which is 3 coins, a salt shaker, a sledgehammer, and a metal detector. You know, the sledgehammer sounds kind of interesting, and it's as much money as I have, so let's buy that. It says it can shatter padlocks on locked trunks. So that's useful. I can open up trunks without using a key. Alright. This door is also locked, so let's see what we get. If we go north, we can use a nook, a guest bedroom, or a nursery. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5 steps. That could be useful, and we haven't seen the nursery before, though I am a little worried about cutting my access off too soon before we get to the antechamber. But actually, I don't have any gems, so can't do that. So let's go with the nook. Alright, let's grab the key. No trunk in here. And if we look to the east, we can choose a closet, a chapel, or a lavatory. Well, since we haven't done the chapel yet, and it has multiple exits, and I don't have any money to lose, let's try the chapel. Alright, very pretty. Got some stained glass, some statues. Nothing behind there. Alright, so let's try going south, because if we remember, going north there will be higher security, more locked doors, more security doors, so we don't want to waste any keys before we get stuff, so let's see if we can find more stuff going south. Or there's a bedroom that will lead to a dead end, a closet which is also a dead end, and a guest bedroom which is also a dead end. So let's choose the dead end. That gives me 2 items. What do we got? We got a gem, and what is this? A metal detector. A greater chance of finding keys and coins. Very nice. So if we go across the piers to the other side of the chapel, it's another locked door. But if we go north, we can do a kitchen with food for sale, and we don't have any money. Or we can do a locksmith, which has keys for sale. I can't buy anything at either because we don't have any money, but it does look like the kitchen has a west-facing exit. So let's do that so we can continue on. This is indeed a kitchen. Got a toaster, a scale, coffee machine, oven. Can't interact with any of this. Looks like there might be a dog in the estate, but actually, with that beeping, that's the metal detector. It's detected this coin. Thank you, metal detector. So we have here the Mount Holy Kitchen menu. We can buy a banana for 2 coins, club sandwich, and bacon and eggs, which gives me extra steps and adds a morning room to today's draft pool. I'm not sure what that is. There's also today's main course, the porterhouse steak, a delightfully expensive steak cut, bone-in and extra marbled for maximum tenderness. A perfect dish for those who love extravagance. Gives me 20 steps and an additional 10 steps if you have a showroom in your house. But it seems I can't buy this one because the main course is served only in the dining room. So maybe if I find a dining room I can have that. Can't buy anything right now though. So let's move on. Another locked door. And so we can do a guest bedroom, a corridor, or a passageway, but we don't have enough gems for a passageway. Let's go straight on through the corridor. Corridor doesn't really have anything of interest in it, just some boxes. Looks like they're in the process of moving or boxing things up because this is my deceased uncle's estate. Alright, so we can do a utility closet, a bedroom, or a walk-in closet. Well, I want to get to the antechamber, see if there's a way in there, and this goes towards the antechamber. So let's enter the bedroom. Alright, bedroom is looking the same as usual. And this is locked and I have no key. So I cannot go that way yet. Looks like my only option is to go down to the courtyard or all the way down to the entrance hall to make more progress. So I don't want to waste steps going back to the entrance hall just yet. So let's go to the courtyard with haste. Moving on through the kitchen, the chapel where I lost my 1 coin. And now the commissary. The courtyard has this security door, which I can't get through. So it seems my only real option is back to the entrance hall. And if we look at the map, unfortunately, I have boxed myself in, so I can explore further from the entrance hall, but I won't be getting up to the antechamber. Either way, I might find some more useful items or clues, and maybe even a key, or a security card. So yeah, let's make our way back here and see what we can find. Okay, So let's head east here. We can go for the guest bedroom. That's a dead end, we don't want that. Billiard room or a workshop. Workshop lets me combine inventory to create new items. I got a sledgehammer and a metal detector. Maybe I can combine those somehow. So let's take a look at the workshop. Seems the metal detector has found something. Where is it? Oh, I think it's detecting this. What appears to be a broken lever could prove to be useful. Wonder where that goes. Got the letter E carved in stone. Got a music sheet. Says 8 at the top. Stones cut by hand and letters wrought do spell our secrets carved from thought. A message read is often lost among the bold words spoken soft. The note is read, the letter is not. Well, I noticed the word message is bold, and it says something about the bold words. So, not sure what that means, but something to keep in mind. This is one of those games where it's probably pretty helpful to write everything down, take screenshots, use a notepad, etc. And here we have the workshop. So let's see if I can combine my sledgehammer. No, can't combine it with my metal detector, but I can combine it with the broken lever. And it's looking for something else that I don't have. So I can't make any contraptions, it seems, with my current inventory. Maybe another time. So if we go west, we've got the utility closet, the bunk room, which counts as 2 bedrooms, and the maid's chamber, which causes it to be less likely to find items lying around in your house. Well, the other 2 are dead ends, so I guess I gotta go with the maid's chamber and take the penalty. So in the maid's chamber we got nothing of particular interest. We got a Mila statue. Got this portrait. I'm not sure if that's the family of the maid. Something like that. Got a note. Staff notice. The day we all dreaded has finally arrived. It is with unprecedented sadness that we inform you of the death of our benefactor, employer, and master, the Baron of Mount Hawley, H.S. Sinclair. Any staff who have an interest in attending services may contact Mrs. Babbage for details. In following the instructions left by the Baron himself, effective immediately, all work at Mount Hawley is suspended. All live-in staff will have 1 month paid leave and must vacate the premises by Friday, November 6th. Mrs. Babbage. Alright. Not sure if there's anything of use in there. But let's see what happens if we go north. There's the lavatory. We don't want that. There's the East Wing Hall. And the drawing room. You may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room, which just means you can re-roll your opportunity here. If you don't like what you get the first time, you can try it a second time. But I don't have any gems, so I can't do the drawing room. So let's try the East Wing Hall. East Wing Hall is just another hallway. Nothing special in here. And if we go west, we can do the guest bedroom, the bunk room, and the passageway. Well, I think I'm going to go north from the East Wing Hall, so I don't need to do it with the passageway, which I can't afford anyway. So let's do something we haven't seen before, the bunk room. The bunk room is indeed a bunk room. And the metal detector has found some money. Very nice. Got an old video game system here. Metal detector has found something else. Where is it? Huh. I thought I saw it going off. We got a cute little hamster in here. Look at the hamster go. Running on the hamster wheel. Alright. Oh, I was not wrong. Metal detector has found something. But where is it? Maybe in the workshop and I'm hearing it through the wall? I don't know. Either way, let's go north now. We got the boudoir, I think you pronounce it like that, something like that, boudoir, the wine cellar, and the rumpus room. Well, the rumpus room requires a gem, unfortunately, but it does give me 8 coins, which is nice, and it looks very colorful and fun. But the wine cellar, we can get 3 gems, but that's a dead end. Or we can do the boudoir, however you pronounce it. Let's try that, because it will give us an extra room to go to. Very fancy looking room. There's this postcard or photo of Christmas. And it looks like there's a safe. Wonder if there's anything to do with a safe somewhere else. Around here, there's nothing, and oh, that's the safe. No idea what the code is. Maybe if we take a closer look at the photo, we can find a code. Any numbers on here? No. Maybe we're supposed to count things. Not really seeing any pattern here. But what do we have through here? A lavatory, of course. The dining room. And the walk-in closet. Well, I don't have any gems, so I can't do the walk-in closet. But the dining room is free. And I don't know if I have reached rank 8 yet. We are currently in rank 3. If each row is a rank, I've been to 4, 5, 6, 7. So unfortunately, there will not be a meal served in the dining room, but all these are going to be dead ends. So this will be my last room. We'll just take a look at the dining room, even if there's no food in here. It is exactly what you expect. Just a standard dining room. Alright, so now it seems we have boxed ourselves in, and we will call it a day. And in this video, I'll do one more day, and call it a night, if you will. Got a Mount Holly Ordinary Inn. The name of the building kind of changes depending on the layout you get. 25 total rooms, rank 7 reached, 41 steps taken, 2 items found, 15 new rooms. Alright, let's try again. So as you can probably tell, the gameplay loop is exploring the house, doing the best with what you're given, and finding new puzzles and clues to put together. And eventually, with enough information, you can reach room 46. But the dead ends and so on you have seen do reveal my one big complaint with this game, is that in many ways it is very much luck-based, because you're basically just given what you're given and you have to choose from the 3 options, and sometimes you just end up in a dead end. Sometimes you don't get the rooms you need to solve the puzzles or the items you need to solve the puzzles, and sometimes even if you know exactly what to do and you have all the knowledge you need to beat the game, the chance of it all means bad luck will just box you in and you'll waste an entire in-game day getting nothing done. So that can be pretty frustrating at times, but when you're not running into that, I think it's a very interesting game. And relaxing, hopefully. So let's move a little faster this time, since I've introduced a lot of this stuff to you before. We'll start with a nook, because the more keys the better. Grab the key. Nothing unusual in here. And now we will go with a den. And I realized I forgot to look at this note last time. A journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly, a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. And I did notice that the only lowercase word in this entire thing is beside. No idea if that means anything, but whatever. So yes, I would definitely recommend taking notes and screenshots of this game. I have many notes from my time finishing it. So if we go west here, we can go with the chapel, the pantry, or the storeroom. I'm going to go with the chapel because it gives us some extra options and I don't have any money to lose. Right. And down here we can dead end either a guest bedroom or a utility closet. Since we haven't seen the utility closet, let's try that now. So here we go. And here we got a breaker box. It says in the left, it says toggling or danger toggling of breaker switches may result in unexpected loss of floor plan functionality. Please call DC Power if you require assistance. There's the keycard entry system on-off. I think that controls the power to that, so if we find a security room and we set the power off state to unlocked, maybe we can get through the keycard doors without a keycard. So let's set that off and hope that happens. We've got some VAC indicators here. They change colors when you push them. Not sure what that means. No idea, so we'll have to come back later. And there's on-off switches for the gymnasium, darkroom, garage, and it looks like cabinet is scribbled out, but there's no switch. So why not turn power to the garage on, see what that does. And it seems power to the darkroom is already on, but I guess that's because it burns out when you walk in. And the gymnasium, well, I don't know, it feels like if it's already set to on, we probably want to turn it off because that would be an advantage of getting in here. So I don't know what the gymnasium does, but we'll turn it off just in case. And that's about it in here. The chapel has nothing in it. If we go north, we can do a pantry, a corridor, or a courtyard. I'm going to go with the courtyard. And in the courtyard, we have a shovel here and a pile of dirt to dig. I dug up an ordinary key. Very nice. And we have another pile of dirt here. Dug up a coin. Very useful to have the shovel, of course. So let's go west or east. East, we have a storeroom, a guest bedroom, or a commissary. I'm going to go with the storeroom. Get a coin, a key, and a gem. Now if we keep going north, we can do a bedroom, a guest room, or a garage. For one gem we can get 3 keys. And we can see what happened when we turned on the power to the garage. So let's see what's in the garage. Fancy old car. Got 3 keys. Very nice. Can't open the trunk. Can't open the car doors or the hood. Can't open that box. There's a note here. Christoph, this is the 3rd time this month you and the car have been gone when your services were required. I don't care how long you have been driving for his lordship, your absences must be accounted for. Mrs. Babbage. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do with that. Alright, so if the garage has power on, does that just mean the lights turned on? Or how about this button here? What does this do? there's the garage door. Very nice. Alright, well, can I drive the car out? No, I don't have any keys to the car, but I can walk out. Says now we're on the west path. There's the west side of the house, I guess. But let's walk along the west path and see what we can find. There's a gate here. Yep, that's locked. Is that it? No, there's a walkway here. There's a kind of precarious looking... Alright, there we go. And yeah. Well, here's the other side of that gate out front. So, the west gate has been permanently unlocked. Permanent changes do not reset each day. Very nice. So now every day, even if I don't have the garage and I haven't turned on the power, I can get to the west path to do whatever it is you do on the west path. But let's keep exploring the west path. Go over this little bridge. Got that bird. What is this door here? So I can select a room to draft from these three. Have not seen these before. There's a root cellar, which makes rooms in my house more likely to contain dig spots today. Could be useful with the shovel. There's the tool shed, which will give me 2 special items, whatever that means. And the hovel special floor plans now cost additional steps instead of gems. That can be useful because I don't have any gems, but if I have more dig spots, maybe I can dig up some gems. I am curious what's in the tool shed, but because I have the shovel, I'm going to go with the root cellar. And let's take a look inside. Got a bunch of dirt piles to dig at. Got some coins. We got another coin. Got an old tin can, not worth picking up, so I guess not everything you dig up is good. An oversized turnip should prove to be a nutritious snack, plus 6 steps. And a couple more. Another key. And the key to the secret garden. Interesting. And this Mount Holly family tree on the wall. Not sure if there's any information I need from there, but keep it in mind. Alright, so let's, I guess, go back through the garage and continue our journey through the house. Back up this nice little path. I've not found any secret garden yet, so don't know what that key is for. Alright, so now let's take a look at the map. So we are at a dead end on the west side because of the garage, but if we go back to the entrance hall, we can get some more rooms. I lost a coin walking in. Almost forgot that was going to happen, but I gotta go through either way. Alright, so now let's go east from the entrance hall. And coat check is a new one. Check one item and retrieve it on another day. So if there's something in your inventory you want to keep for the next day, or at least the next time you draft a coat check, that could be useful. There's a spare room and the guest bedroom. Let's get some extra steps since I've been walking around outside a lot. And we got a gem. And yep, let's go north now. And we can do the corridor, the closet, or the commissary. The only one that won't be a dead end is the corridor, so let's go with that. And now we can do the bedroom, which will be a dead end, the pantry, which will be a dead end, or the observatory, plus 1 star for each time you've drafted the observatory. Costs 1 gem, but I do have that, so let's go inside and take a look. Got this big telescope. And a book over here. The Fixed Stars, The Stargazer's Companion to Constellations by Richard Witt, Fen Aries, Bird and Sons Publishing, 1809. Preface. This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations, and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on any given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible, sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. So, North Star gives you 1 gold. The Twins, 2 trunks have been added to the entrance hall. The Slice, 3 steps. Diamondus Minor, 1 gem. The Southern Cross, rooms with 4 doors are more common today. Farmer's Apple, extra delicious today. Apples are. Clavis the Key gives you 1 key. Diamondus Major gives you 5 gems. Draxus the Dead gives you more dead-end rooms. The Sale gives you everything at 50% off. Florealis, Bloom of the Sky. Green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers, in quotes, today. Don't know what that means. And it seems that's it for the book. So I guess if we can look through the telescope at the sky, we'll find different benefits in the constellations. But it's not pointing the right way. We want to move it. If we keep moving it to the right, it's going to hit that pathway. So let's see what we have up here. Is there any way to move it differently? Yes, okay. So that moves it up. That should get it out of the way of this kind of overhang here. And now, if we turn it to the right, one more time, it is now pointing at the sky, so let's take a look. There's just 1 star. I got 1 coin from the North Star. Very nice. Alright, so let's see what's through this door. We got a parlor, a pantry, and a spare room. I need some more gems, so hopefully going south will not dead end me, but let's see what we got in the parlor this time. A probably slightly harder puzzle. Alright. All 3 boxes contain gems. Well, we know that's false, so that's a false one. The other 2 boxes contain gems. That might be true. Well, actually, no. That has to be false as well. So, because there's only 1 box with gems. So these are the 2 false ones, and this one has to be true. This box contains gems. That one was pretty easy. Alright. Let's see what we get here. Alright, a bedroom means we will not be dead-ended. And yeah, let's go with the bedroom. And it seems there's an apple on the dresser here. A couple extra steps, very nice. And now we can do the billiard, the pantry, coat check, or billiard room. While we have not seen the billiard room yet, it will get us in the wrong direction because we'll get a dead end at the bottom right corner. So let's go with the pantry and hope we see the billiard room again later. Got a banana in here this time. Some money. And now there's the spare room, lavatory, or security. If you remember, with the breaker box, we turned off the security doors. So let's go ahead and set their offline mode to unlocked in the security room. So if and when we encounter them, we don't need a key card. So key card system settings. So what we want to do is set the security level to high, because it means we'll get more security doors. And if we get more unlocked security doors, that means more doors that will not require a key. So we'll change the offline mode to unlocked. That should make things a little easier if we run into any of those security doors. Like this one, which is, of course, unlocked. So we can do the boudoir, the boiler room, or the laundry room. Well, the boiler room seems pretty interesting, and we haven't done it before, so let's spend 1 gem on the boiler room. Alright, so the boiler room is pretty big and fancy. Looking pretty complicated. Alright, let's take a look up here first. Can't go that way. Maybe something to do with the boiler. Let's check this dig spot here. Got a key. Another one over here. Some old coins. Some more coins. Alright, so got whatever this is here. Let's turn this on. Okay, so it seems like steam is coming out here. We gotta turn this guy here. So it goes over here, this intersection. If we turn this, the steam is now going that way and that way. I'm not sure what that red box is, or where that's doing anything. I don't know. Let's turn it one more time and see what else we can do. So that one extends that bridge there, but it seems like there's still a gate blocking the way. Let me take another look here. Did that other angle unlock the gate? Do I have to do both at the same time? Let's see. Oh no, that unlocks that door up there. Alright, we'll keep that in mind. But that opens that up. But that's kind of useless without the gate being open. And that goes up there. Alright, so I don't know. It seems I have to get up there without using that bridge or that gate. So let's see if there's another way. Seems like there's maybe an elevator of some sort up there. And the elevator is probably powered by this. If we follow this, it goes down this pipe, but the steam is coming this way, so let's follow this pipe. And if we follow this pipe, it goes to this thing here, which we can turn on. And so now, seems the steam is not reaching that yet, but I noticed this here, this little lever. If we turn it that way, it does power the elevator. So up we go. And now we got this locked door. And some sort of interface up there. We gotta take a look at that. Got that lever there. Alright. That opens up that gate. Very nice. But let's look up here. What do we have? Some sort of device. There's an activate button. Move that left to right. But there are two pipes going into it. I guess we have to get the steam into it first. So if we follow that pipe, goes over here, and we can turn this on. And that opens up that door, but if we flip it the other way, goes up here and it lights that up. Seems I can't activate it yet. I guess we gotta get the other side too. Okay. So let's go back down the elevator. And now, if we look around, there's that pipe. That's the other side. So we'll flip the lever. And now with that on, we should be able to push the button, but that does disable the elevator because that was the steam that was turning the elevator on. So now with that gate open, we just gotta extend the platform, right? So let's do that. Just gotta turn it a few times. Just like that. Alright. So now, with any luck, we can turn on the device at the top. Push the activate button. So it seems like power is going that way, into whatever that room is, which we've not determined yet. But if we move this lever, seems we can change the direction the power is going. Not sure what we can do with that, so let's point it this way and see what we get going west and see if there's anything to do with the power. I don't know what that's going to do. Alright, so it looks like there's a line of electricity going to all three of these rooms. There's the archives. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all three of your potential floor plans. Not very good. There's the passageway, which requires gems I don't have, or the weight room, which will make me lose half my steps. Let's go with the archives because I don't want to lose half my steps. But it does mean we'll have some difficulty drafting going forward. Seems the power is just kind of going everywhere. Going into a bunch of different rooms, so maybe those are just continuations of the power loop. We have a gem here, and some newspaper clippings. August 22nd, 85. Marigold wins Herald Literary Honor. Popular children's writer Marian Marigold adds yet another feather to her scholastic cap when she discovered on Thursday that her picture book, Swim Bird, has been chosen as the Herald Literary Medal Illustrated Book of the Year. This is Marigold's second time winning this prestigious honor. The previous medal was, of course, for her debut effort. She was no stranger to the public eye even before her literary success. The niece and closest living relation of Baron H.S. Sinclair, Mary began using Marigold as a pen name to free her from the political associations that one might make with the Sinclair family. January 27th, 86. Swimbird author never considered herself success, by Gail Ermes, Herald staff writer. She confided, "My son was the one that actually got me to start writing. I had always challenged myself to never tell him the same story twice at bedtime, and so as we ran out of books we owned, my imagination had to take over from there." Marigold had elaborated in previous interviews that her debut book, Red Prince, is based on her son and his inflexible love of the color red. A statement that has been held with much skepticism by the many pundits that viewed the book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party and their unwavering blind loyalty to the throne. November 11th, 86. Publisher and author detained by Red Guard, questioned. Caleb Manning and his publisher Philip White were 2 of 3 dozen names that appeared on a leaked dossier, naming them a person of interest in the Trinsdale bombing that killed 4 people last Tuesday. Although no group has come forward to officially take responsibility of the attack, it is widely believed by authorities to be the work of the insurgent group RLCF, who also call themselves the Children of Blackwater. Ruffington Press was quick to dismiss the rumors in a statement released on Friday, maintaining that the popular author and Mr. White were simply victims of an unfortunate happenstance, whatever that means. This would not be the first time that the publishing house has defended a rogue employee. The 3 years ago, an associate editor with the company was arrested for criminal conspiracy, though the charges were later dropped. November 17th, Reddington Herald, Marigold drops publisher. Local author and popular personality Marianne Marigold has announced a split with her long-term publishing partner, Ruffington Press, citing personal reasons. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author and colleague Caleb Manning, whom Marigold has past referred to as her mentor, friend, and confidant. Marigold is the third prominent writer to distance themselves from the publisher this week. Got a photo of Manning and White at press function. Was seen at the corner, suspicious bag under the... There's a bunch of cut-off text there. Something about grand treason. February 22nd, 87. No traces discovered of Cinca heiress, but search continues. Mary Matthew Jones, the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories are written under the pen name Marianne Marigold, was last seen by a close friend around 3:45 p.m. Friday, getting into a carriage after a late luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. Mrs. Jones never arrived home, and the carriage driver cannot be located. Family and local authorities are very concerned, but have not deemed the case foul play. It's an out-of-character incident at this point, and we are seeking information. September 2nd, Reddington Herald, priceless jewels stolen in dramatic Royal Museum heist. Thieves in the royal capital of Fen Aries have broken into one of the Crown's fabled closed exhibits. These lavish rooms have historically been reserved exclusively for the use of the aristocracy and high peerage, and access has never been granted to those outside noble circles. At least not until today, as local police and forensic experts have been spotted in virtually every corner of the museum grounds, dredging for clues. The museum authorities said they were alerted in the middle of the night by reports of several masked intruders seen breaching the south wall and brandishing firearms. The intruders broke into the museum, subdued the royal guard, and disabled the security system. By the time the militia arrived on the scene, the burglars had simply vanished. Although an official registry of the lost jewels has not been publicly announced, among the treasured artifacts rumored to be stolen is the renowned ruby crown of Orinda Aries, the priceless crown jewel whose material worth pales in comparison to the historic value. If these rumors are true, the evidence may suggest that the theft was politically motivated. And that's it for the newspaper clippings here. Is there anything else in the archives? Doesn't look like it. So, if we continue west, we've got 3 more rooms powered by electricity, the furnace, which makes it more likely to draw red rooms, the passageway, which I can't draft, or an archived floor plan. Let's see what is behind this archived floor plan. It is the dark room. Alright, but we got a security door here. And the first option is powered by electricity, so let's see where that goes. Unfortunately, powering the dark room does not seem to turn the lights back on. Guess I gotta go back to the breaker box for that. But that's pretty far away. This is a furnace. But it seems powering the furnace has resulted in a key for me. Very nice. Got 9 keys. Not sure I'll even need that many. But let's go to this security door here and see what we get. We got a maid's chamber, less likely to find items lying around. We got 2 powered plans. So I don't think we have a risk of a dead end yet because we have the boiler room. I want to see where this power goes, so let's try this room here. This is, unfortunately, the weight room, which got rid of half my steps. And seems the power is just going to other rooms. So nothing to do in here. If I try going east, the door is locked. So So I can use a key, or I can use one of my special keys, the secret garden key. Let's see if that fits. The secret garden. We got an apple. Got a couple of those steps back. Got a lever. Got a dig spot here. Just an unremarkable rock. And this is indeed a garden, kind of hidden off from its surroundings. Got this thing here. Not sure what direction it's supposed to be pointing. There's another one here. I don't know. Might have to come back for this one. Maybe there's a clue somewhere else. And there's whatever this is. Alright, well, if we continue on, if we go north, got a locked door, let's use a key. There's the gymnasium. Whenever you enter, you lose 2 steps. Well, the greenhouse makes you more likely to draw green rooms while drafting. And, I think I'll try the greenhouse. Requires 1 gem, which I do have. Found a metal detector. Very nice. And, seems I can use the broken lever here. What happens when I pull the lever? Seems this is the antechamber. There was something about needing levers to unlock the antechamber. It seems that has indeed unlocked one of the antechamber doors. Interesting. Got a worthless old shoe. A few old coins. And what is this? Another music sheet. It says 5. Trees found inside will never shade. The gems that shine in night and rain. The clue you hold cannot be paid. With gems nor coin, so toss away. These sheets you find a worthy trade. Well, the word sheets is bolded, but I'm not sure what else to do with that one. There's the greenhouse for you. So, yeah. I wonder if I can get to the antechamber and get in. Seems only one of the doors opened up, so I don't know if it's the one I'll be able to get to, but we'll have to find out. Going north, we can do a maid's chamber, and these 2 floor plans I cannot afford because of gems. The cloister seems like it's probably useful if it costs 3 gems, but we're gonna go with the maid's chamber. Maid's chamber looks the same as usual. And this door is locked. But if we go west, we can do a closet with 2 items, but that'll be a dead end. A billiard room, which will be a dead end. And an archived floor plan. So I'm going to do this and hope it is not a dead end. And indeed it is a dead end. This is the laboratory, which is exactly what it sounds like. Just a bathroom. Total dead end. Well, seems like we're out of options here because we have no more doors to try. And that's about it. So, I'll have to call it a day and try again on day 4. This time it was a garden villa, 25 rooms, rank 6, 40 steps taken, 3 items found, and 11 new rooms. But that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you found it relaxing and interesting. And I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Have a good night, or day, or whatever it is where you are. Bye-bye.